Welcome. Welcome to everyone. This is going to be the first part of a series called Purim and the Secrets of the Redemptive Process. We're about 2 weeks away. It's almost Rosh Chodesh Adar Beis. We're about 2 weeks away from Purim, and there are a lot of very important messages that have to be given over in a short period of time. So I hope that you'll appreciate this. What I'm going to give over today and in subsequent parts of the series are going to be mind-blowing. These are things that you probably have never heard before anywhere else. A lot of it comes from a book called Sharvit Zahav, which is a likud. It's a compilation of teachings of the Vilna Gaon that were given on different topics, including the Kol HaTorah, which is about the redemptive process and its connection to the traditional explanation of the Vilna Gaon on Megillas Esther, on the Book of Esther. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to read it partially in Hebrew and English. I hope everybody will be able to follow with me. But again, what I'm saying now is mind-blowing. Haperak harishon shel HaMegillah hu sipur hit'orerut hashamayim latchilat gulatam shel Yisrael. The first chapter of the Megillah of Esther is a story about the awakening of the divine, of the heavens, in order to begin the process of the redemption of the Jewish people. And that is also known as the end of the process or the period of Sheinat HaMelech, of the sleeping of the king. The Klal Yisrael, Hamalka, Klal Yisrael is the Jewish people, and they are referred to as the queen in the story of Esther. Adayin lo osa davar legulato. They're still not doing. Adayin lo osa davar legulato. They're still not doing anything. They're being passive, and they're not doing anything proactive in order to bring about their redemption. Adarabba, on the other hand, the opposite is true. Hamalka nikret as Vashti. The first queen, we know in the book of Esther, is referred to as Vashti. Because she is not doing the will of the king. But the King of Kings, God himself, begins to awaken these powers, these divine powers, that will Yisayu Mashiach ben Yosef, that will assist with what is known as Mashiach ben Yosef, which in the Megillah is Mordechai, La'orer et Malchut Yisrael, in order to awaken the Jewish people and the kingship of the Jewish people, which is Esther. Again, let's get right into it. Vayihi b'mei Achashverosh. The beginning of the book of Esther begins in those days of Achashverosh. Who Achashverosh? He was Achashverosh, Hamolech, that ruled Mehodu ve'ad Kush, from this place called Hodu until another place called Kush, Sheva ve'esrim u'me'a medina, 127 nations across the globe. So let's read the explanation of the Gaon. Ma'achorei sipur HaMegillah, behind this story of the Megillah, mistater sipur gadol hanirmaz b'miluteho. There is a hidden story that is being hinted behind the words here. Achashverosh hamolech. Achashverosh is the one who is ruling. Achashverosh hu Achashverosh. But Achashverosh, he is Achashverosh. What does it mean by this repetitive wording? The hainu, it means to say, hu besacha kol Achashverosh. Achashverosh in the story of Esther is just Achashverosh. He's just a plain man of blood and flesh. Umi shemolech be'emet hu melech malchei melachim. But we have to know that who is really ruling here, who's really pulling the strings? It's God himself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Achashverosh la'orech kol ha-megillah, Achashverosh, throughout the entire story of Esther, osa ach v'rak et ritzon hamelech. He is doing exactly what the King of Kings, what God himself is telling him to do. Hu eino ela kli, he's just a vessel, levatzea et ha-malachim shel melchei ha-malachim, in order to fulfill the will of God. Umikan tzorech lavin, and from here we need to understand lama Achashverosh hu ha-molech. Why is it that Achashverosh was chosen to be the one that rules? Why does God need an intermediary, so to say? Mishum sheribono shel olam manhig et amo beit hagalut behester panim. And the answer is simple. Hashem requires, or the way that he created the process, was during the period of exile, during the period that the Jewish people are no longer in their land, they're outside of their land, and they're in exile. At that point, God rules the world with a very, very sharp sense of secrecy, what is known as Hester Panim. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes here. This secrecy, this working behind the scenes, will continue until the Jewish people decide or begin lif'ol legulatam b'darko shel Mashiach ben Yosef, until the Jewish people begin to start to act on their own, start to be proactive in bringing the redemptive process. V'ad shit orer, and until he is awakened, Melech Malchei Melachim, the King of Kings. Ki nirmaz b'Megillah, as it's hinted in the Megillah, b'layla hahu nodeda shnas hamelech. On that night, the king was suddenly awoken from his sleep. Again, this is just a hint of God being awoken by the Jewish people who have decided to start to act proactively to bring about their redemption. Megillas Esther gonezet b'kirba et sodot hitarut shel Yisrael leman gulatam. Within the book of Esther are all the hidden secrets of the redemptive process. Hamavi'ah b'ikvoteha litorut shel malchei hamelachim, that brings about this concept of awakening the King of Kings, to God himself. Hitarut Yisrael hena b'derech shel Mashiach ben Yosef. This is done through the Jewish people acting, again, proactively, in a way which we refer to as Mashiach ben Yosef. HaPo'el al pi midat adin, who works according to strict judgment. Al yedei kanav b'chinot, according to the 156 ways that were listed, that the Gra lists as actions, as an action plan to bring the redemptive process about. Hamuvat b'Sefer Kol HaTorah. This is all brought down in his book called Kol HaTorah. Kol HaNirmaz b'Megillah nirmaz l'dorot. Everything that is being hinted within the Megillah is being hinted for all generations. It applies just as much, if not more, during this generation than it did thousands of years ago in Persia. V'amavteach l'dvarim hu al pi Torah shlema shehinchila gaon mevilna tamidav. And this is the key. These words are the key to an entire Torah, an entire lesson that we are learning, that is brought down and has been taught down from tradition from the Gaon of Vilna, from the Vilna Gaon, until today through his students, as to how the redemptive process will unfold. Torah hageula b'derech ha'asiyah be'olam hester panim. And that is the understanding of this Torah understanding, that only by being proactive and moving and acting in this world which is completely hidden, are we able to engage and to start and to jumpstart the redemptive process. Halohi Torat Mashiach ben Yosef, and this is the Torah of Mashiach ben Yosef. Hanhaga Elokit hapoelet beseter elyon, this divine workings that works secretly, b'Megillat Esther, that we see throughout this Megillah of Esther. Hi hanhagat hagula derech Mashiach ben Yosef hapoel biturta deltata. It is the redemptive process that's done through Mashiach ben Yosef, and it's done being proactive in this world. This is a concept which the Gra speaks about, that it's necessary, it's obligatory for us to be proactive and do in this world, not just to sit back and wait for the redemption to happen, but we have to actually do things in order to have an action plan to move it forward. Zo hanaga tluya ba'asiyat mamashit shel malchuta da'ara, and this is the action plan that we have actual steps to take in this world. Halohi am Yisrael b'hofato ba'olam ha'asiyah, because the Jewish people have to be proactive in this world. V'zeu vayhi b'mei, and that's why the Megillah starts vayhi b'mei, during these days. Hamiramez al tsar v'hester panim, it hints to the extreme pain and suffering of this exile that we're in, that is hidden. V'tzarhu hanhoga shel midat adin, and this suffering is part of the concept of strict judgment. Hapoelet derech hester panim, that always works in this way of being hidden. Dahainu hanhagas Mashiach ben Yosef kfi shuvuar, which is the concept of Mashiach ben Yosef, and this is just the beginning. This is really a hakadama. This is just an introduction into this concepts. These concepts will blow your mind. You're going to learn this series that I'm going through now, and it will change your entire perspective on Purim, on the Megillah, on the redemptive process, and of the Jewish people, our role, and what we're supposed to be doing and what we're not supposed to be doing. Please stick with us for part 2 and continue on, because this is going to blow your minds. Thank you.